In the past few years, I've worked with a number of veterans groups, talking to them about entrepreneurship and small business. And as you can guess, a lot of the drive and the discipline and the tenacity that the people that I met brought to the armed services is carried over to their work in the civilian world. So here to talk about the benefits of building your team with true warriors is Larry Broughton. He is a serial entrepreneur, best known as the founder and CEO of Broughton Hotels, a boutique hotel group with locations around California and Chicago. He is also what he calls a vetrepreneur and co-author of the book Victory: 7 Entrepreneur Success Strategies for Veterans, which includes lessons learned through interviewing and mentoring military veteran entrepreneurs. It's so great to see you.
Thanks, JJ.
So you talk to people about starting your business if you're a veteran, and also if you are a business, hiring veterans.
Absolutely. Veterans are amazing. As you were saying, they're tenacious. They know how to lead. They know how to follow. They respond to changing business conditions constantly. But the thing I think a lot of people forget about is that mentality that vets had when they went into the service, when they put on the military uniform, about serving other people, translates into the civilian life as well. That's not something they stop doing once they get out of the military. They continue to serve.
And you know this from personal experience.
Well, I was in Special Forces for about 9 years. And yeah, I do. I run businesses now. I've been an employee. I hire veterans now. It's those character traits that we were talking about, of honesty, integrity. It's really important. That transcends everything. But here's what I don't want people to do, and I may get some pushback on this. I don't want people or employers hiring vets just for the sake of hiring vets.
Right, of course not, right?
Here's what I want them to do. Hire people who they're highly motivated, full of integrity, and have capacity to grow. Because businesses need to grow first. And there are knucklehead veterans just like there are knucklehead anybody out there. But I can tell you, veterans have been tested. How many 19-year-olds if they're not in the military, well, what are they doing? If they're out of college, they're probably smoking, joking around, having a good time. But if you hire a vet who's in their mid-20s today, these guys have been battle-tested. They've got a level of maturity that most people will never experience in their life.
Are there any particular questions you would ask a vet that might be different than you'd ask any other prospective employee?
I would ask them about challenges that they've overcome in the past. I'd ask them about how do they respond to growing teams. I would ask them how do they respond to what the leadership style, what the corporate culture is in the organization, because as you know, corporate cultures change from business to business.
Right. And is there anything different? I mean, the military is much more structured than some small businesses are these days. Is there any particular kind of position or job that is better served by having that?
I don't think so, because the military is made up of a bunch of individuals, and so I would encourage any business, any employer, to do some kind of skills and strength assessments, whether it's a Strength Finders 2.0 or whether it's Colby or whether it's an Enneagram. Let's make sure that we're hiring people that are a great fit for the position that they're hiring. Too often, as an employer, what we end up doing is hiring off of a resume instead of really looking at their strengths. A resume just has the cognitive skills from somebody. What are my experiences? What kind of education I have? But if you do some of these strength-based assessments, it's cognitive. How do I actually show up to work? How do I respond to stimuli? When
you're in the military, you are taught that you have to think on your feet, which is exactly the skill that a lot of small business owners need. I just have one last question before we need to move on, which is, how do you find these people? How do you find veterans? There are conferences that happen, right?
There are conferences. One of the ones that I think is the best is put on by the IVMF, the Institute for Military and Veteran and Military Families. There are job fairs all over the place. But if you're looking for people who have just an entrepreneurial spirit, then I think the IVMF, through their VWISE program or through their EBV program, is out there. But every municipality nowadays, in fact, I just spoke at Mayor Garcetti's Veteran Business Summit this last week. Every major metropolitan area is now trying to embrace veterans and get them out, making a transition much easier.
All right. Well, Larry, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for all you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.